Hello, Scotland County. This is an opportunity that I'm going to take to explain to you the changes that are happening with our county's group life insurance plan effective January 1, 2021. I hope that you've seen the emails that have been sent out periodically giving you some of the highlights of these changes. And I'm showing these flyers in these as slides just to give you a reminder. Now, the basic life plan remains the same. The biggest change is that as of January 1, voluntary term life will replace the supplemental life coverage. Voluntary term life is now going to be, or in place of, supplemental. Employees may now elect voluntary term life up to $150,000 with guaranteed issue. Now, what that means is that you do not have to answer any health questions. Now, employees may elect an amount greater than $150,000. However, you would need to contact us because that will require answering some health questions. Now, if you're interested in this, you may contact myself, you may contact Lori Parks or Tim Jackson, and we'll be glad to help you with that. Now, another addition is that if the employee elects voluntary term life coverage, they may also elect coverage on their spouse up to $30,000 with guaranteed issue. Again, if you would like more than $30,000 on your spouse, you may contact us. Employees may also elect dependent coverage on their children. Now, this is in addition to the blanket coverage that you may have already enrolled in that covers your spouse and or any children for the amount of $1.92. Now, the children amounts are $10,000 for only $2 a month, $5,000 for only $1 a month, and $2,500 for only 50 cents a month. Now, the key takeaways here is number one, basic plan, the basic life plan remains the same, including the blanket the blanket dependent coverage. The voluntary life replaces the supplemental life and the additional coverage for spouse and children. Okay. Now, this slide you've probably seen, or hopefully have seen before. Now, the retiree benefit change. For employees eligible for county-paid basic life insurance at retirement, since the supplemental life is being replaced by the voluntary term life plan, the additional supplemental life benefit at retirement is no longer an option. You may, however, convert the voluntary life coverage to individual coverage at retirement, but it will no longer continue through the county's group life plan. Now, please keep in mind that this plan does not affect the basic life coverage. If you're an eligible retiree, you will still be covered under the basic life amount at no cost to you. Keep in mind, as has always been the case, when a retiree turns age 70, the benefit amount will reduce to 65% of the base amount. That would mean if you were covered for $10,000, your benefit would reduce to $6,500 at age 70. Now, again, at age 75, for the final reduction, it will reduce to 45% of the base amount. Again, using the $10,000 coverage for most employees, that would reduce to $4,500, and that would be the final reduction. Now, as a reminder, the eligibility for employees hired prior to January 1 of 2012, if you qualify for full or reduced local government retirement system benefits, and you have 15 years consecutively with the county, or if you qualify for disability retirement. Now, the eligibility for employees hired on or after January 1 of 2012, you must be at least age 60 and qualify for full, reduced, or disability retirement, and also have 25 years of coverage with the county. Now, for both of these eligibility requirements, the employee must be actively employed with the county immediately prior to retirement. Now, I'll give you an example of what that means is that if an employee who was hired prior to 2012, and they worked 15 years with the county, went somewhere else, they could not come back to the county and say, hey, I'm retiring now, I want my retiree benefits. you must be employed with Scotland County immediately prior to retirement. Okay? Now, the life insurance, the new benefit is voluntary term life. Now, this is just showing you how to read the grid for the voluntary term life table. Show the grid. All right. Now, I'm hopeful you can see at least that there is a grid here. I know you may not see the amounts, but just to show you how easy this is that you will see these in age bands of 5 years. Now, this is 29 and under, this is 30 through 34, 35 through 39, 40 through 44, and so forth. Now, what you would need to do is determine your age, look at that age band, and then look at the premiums along with the actual benefit amount here. Now, this is the matrix. You just tie what benefit amount you're interested in to your age band, and say if you're 40 through 44, you can get $100,000 coverage for $25.40. That's how you read this, the grid that has already been sent to you. Okay. Now, this is the grid for the spouse, and again, the spouse coverage is limited to $30,000 with guaranteed issue, and you use the same method. You just pick the age of your spouse, how much coverage you would like to purchase, and then that way you would find, so for $30,000 for someone under the 40-44 age band would only be $7.62. So that's how you would come up with your premium amount. All right. Now we're talking about the dependent coverage now, and just to remind you that there is absolutely no change to the blanket coverage that you may have already enrolled in when you were hired. If you chose the dependent benefit amount, it covers all of your dependents for $3,000 for that one premium of $1.92. There is no change with that. However, you can choose more benefit coverage additionally to that blanket coverage under the voluntary term life plan. Now keep in mind, you must elect a voluntary term life coverage on yourself in order to be able to cover your spouse and then of course your children. But just as a reminder, as I said before, $10,000 worth of coverage is only $2, $5,000 for only $1, and $2,500 for 50 cents a month. Now, I do want to note that the only time that you may elect the highest level of guaranteed issue for voluntary term life is during this open enrollment period. Now, you may ask, may I increase my benefits later? And yes, you may be able to increase your benefits by 2 increments of $10,000 per year during the annual open enrollment period without providing health insurance. So that's to give you an example. Say you chose $20,000 coverage during this open enrollment period, and you decide next year, well, I'd really like to increase my coverage. You may increase it up to $20,000 with no health questions, and so on and so forth. So, if you have a qualifying event, however, you may make a change within 30 days of the date of the event. Now, this is a marriage, a birth of a child, etc., what you're used to with the family status change definition. Okay, again, just a reminder, the open enrollment period is November 1st through the 19th, and you may go to the employee portal and you will find the open enrollment page there. Now, we're going to talk about the dental insurance. We have talked about this for so long, most of you can probably give this information yourself. Now, as a reminder, we open the dental plan up twice a year. Once during mid-year with our health insurance enrollment, and now we also include this with our supplemental and now our voluntary term life enrollment. So this is the basic dental plan that we've had for years and years with interactive medical systems. Now, if you've never enrolled in dental, you may do so now. And all you have to do is again go to the open enrollment page, and the dental forms are there. You would need to do the enrollment form if you've never enrolled before. Now, what happens when you do that enrollment form is that the actual premium will begin in January. However, your coverage will not begin until April 1. We still have that 3-month waiting period for that. Now also, this is the time to add or delete any dependents. So if you are deleting a child because they've aged out, or if they have their other coverage, they've gotten a job or whatever, now's the time to do that. Now keep in mind again, with family status changes, if your child ages out at any time throughout the year, they will notify us, and we will then notify you to let you know that we're going to make that change. Again, marriage, birth of a child, divorce, things like that, that would incorporate a family status change. All right? Now, the means for the reason why we have that 3-month waiting period is because with Interactive Medical Systems, we are self-funded. And this method of funding has allowed us to keep the rate of premium increases to a minimum. Now, normally a plan has rate increases every year. Using this method of funding, we've been able to average maybe 5 years in between rate increases. Now, if you want to change coverage tiers, again, keep in mind your dependents will also have that waiting period as well. Their premium change would be January 1. The coverage would be available April 1. Now, if you are deleting coverage for anyone, that premium change will be effective in January. Now, as a note, the Mark III supplemental plan, open enrollments, we are opening this up always week before Thanksgiving. It'll be the same this year. November 16th through the 19th will be our online enrollment. Now, unfortunately, during these times, we are not able to do a one-on-one open enrollment period like we normally have done, where the benefits enrollers come in and speak to you individually. However, we're able to do this online with phone access to the benefit enrollers. Now, you would need to call and make an appointment, and all of that information will be sent to you very quickly. And in fact, before this week is out, you will be seeing that. Please review this video as many times as necessary, but if you still have questions, please channel these questions through your department HR contacts. Also, if you need to contact us, if you're in one of the smaller departments, you may contact us. Myself, okay, go to the contact. Myself, my number is 277-2403, Susan Sanders. My email address has remained the same as butler@scotlandcounty.org. You can contact Lori Parks at 277-2404. Her email address is lparks@scotlandcounty.org. Timothy Jackson, you may contact him, 277-2774, extension 5140, and his email is tjackson@scotlandcounty.org. Now, I do want to take this opportunity to thank you for what you do, for all that you've done this year in persevering during this most challenging year. And here's looking to 2021 for things getting close to back to normal. I hope you all have a great day and a wonderful holiday season. Bye now.